Little girl wheels her twin sister to the biker clubhouse. Daddy slipped something inside her. The bikers are stunned. Before we dive into this incredible story, drop a comment below and tell us where you're watching from. This journey will touch your heart in ways you never expected. Enjoy the story. It was a sweltering Friday afternoon in Dust Haven, a dusty speck of a town in the Nevada Badlands, where excitement usually meant a dust storm rolling in. Jax Hawk Ramirez, a grizzled veteran of the Desert Reapers biker gang, was nursing a lukewarm beer at the Scarred Oak Bar in their weathered clubhouse when he heard the chain-link gate out front rattle open. He glanced up, figuring it'd be old man Harlan griping about the latest turf spat with the rival crew again. Instead, he saw something that made his bottle halt midway to his mouth. Two little black girls, no older than 6, stood in the doorway. But this wasn't a normal drop-in. One of the girls was pushing the other in an old, rusty wheelbarrow. The child in the wheelbarrow looked miserable. Her small belly oddly swollen, tears carving tracks down her dusty cheeks. "Hey there," Jack said low and easy, his road-hardened instincts kicking in as he crouched down to their eye level. "What are your names, kiddos?" The girl pushing the wheelbarrow had wild curls tied back with a frayed bandana and wore hand-me-downs that hung loose on her skinny frame. She eyed him with a gaze that carried too much weight for her years. "I'm Nia," she murmured. "This is my sister Zara. She needs help." Jax's gut twisted as he clocked Zara, who was huddled up in clear pain. Her little belly poked out unnatural-like, and she kept letting out these tiny mewls. "Where are your folks at, darlin'?" Jax asked soft, reining in his gravelly tone. Nia's hands clenched the wheelbarrow grips. She scanned the clubhouse warily, the pool table, the faded club patches on the walls, then leaned in close to Jax's ear. What she breathed next chilled the ink on his tattoos and set his knuckles whitening. Daddy slipped something inside her belly. Nia said in the tiniest voice you could imagine. He said it'd fix her, but Zara won't quit crying. She can't walk no more, so I hauled her here. Like Mommy used to say, find a reaper when you need backup. Jax felt the ground shift under his boots. In his 2 decades riding with the Reapers, he'd stared down bar brawls and border runs, but the pure, gut-punch way this kid laid out that horror shook him to the core. He eyed Zara, who'd conked out from sheer weariness, her little chest heaving quick. "Nia, kiddo," Jax said, keeping his rumble steady. "Where's your daddy at now?" "Back at the hideout," Nia said flat out. "But he spaces out sometimes. Forgot we needed grub yesterday and Zara got worse. So I figured I'd bring her here myself. Wheeled her all the way from the scrublands." Jax clocked that these girls had rumbled miles over rough dirt to hit the clubhouse. As he thumbed his burner phone to holler for the gang's doc and a couple of the old ladies who handled family scraps, one question scorched his brain. What the hell had this old man done to his own blood? The late sun baked through the clubhouse windows as Jax locked eyes with Nia's trusting stare. He had no clue this run-in would bust open a riddle that'd test every notion he held about kin, loyalty, and how far folks'll ride to shield their own. Zara twitched in the wheelbarrow, groping for her sister's hand. "Nia," she breathed. "Did we do right?" Nia squeezed her sister's fingers. "Yeah, Z, we're gonna patch you up." But as Jax hit speed dial, he couldn't ditch the vibe that this gig would be wilder than any Dust Haven dust-up. Within 20 minutes, the ramshackle clubhouse had turned into a full-throttle ops center. Doc Lena Brooks rolled up first, her med kit slung over her shoulder and worry creasing her face like cracked leather. Right on her tail came Elena Torres, the county's battle-tested family fixer, whose steady hand had pulled more crews through hell than Jax could count. "Hey, pretty things," Doc Brooks said, soft, dropping to a knee by the wheelbarrow. "I'm the doc, and I'm here to ease Zara's hurt." "That cool?" Zara dipped her head weak, but Naya planted herself guard dog style in front of her sister. "You gonna split us up?" she asked, with a grit that twisted Elena's gut. "Nah, sugar," Elena soothed. "We just want to ride this out with y'all. Mind spilling more on your daddy? What's his handle?" "Daddy Buck," Nia said straight. "He looks out for us, but some days he sinks low and chats up ghosts. That's when he blanks on Chow or Zara's doses." Doc Brooks gave Zara a light once-over, while Naya tracked every twitch like a hawk on a jackrabbit. What she uncovered left her scratching her head deep. Zara's mess looked medical, not beat down, but the kid had been grinding through weeks of raw neglect. "Nia," Elena said, squatting low to match the girl's height. "You got the lowdown on nursing Zara like a pro. Who schooled you?" "Picked it up watching," Naya said, plain as dirt. "When Mommy rode off to the stars 3 years back, Daddy gave it his all, but he started glitching worse. So I had to figure how to prop Zara when she tanked." Elena shot Jax a loaded look. A 6-year-old had been straight-up mothering her twin for years. "What kind of doses does Zara run on?" Doc Brooks asked easy. Nia fished a balled-up scrap from her pocket, scribbled with kid scrawls and figures. "Daddy jots it for me," he says. "The vials with critter labels soothe Zara's gut, but they knock her out." Doc Brooks pored over the note, her know-how cracking the code on timings and hits. Her brows shot up as it hit her. These kids had been off-grid total, bunkered with a Pops clearly wrestling his own head demons. "Nia, you've been tough as nails and sharp as a switchblade," Elena said, warm. "But where's your crash pad exactly? Can you point us?" "Way out," Naya said, jabbing vague at the window. "Beyond the scrub oaks, cross the dry wash in the rollin' rig. Daddy says we got a ghost 'cause wolves might sniff us out." But Zara couldn't hunker no more. Jax leaned in. "Rollin' rig, got wheels," Naya spelled it, like a roadhouse. "Daddy shifted us there after the stick house spooked him bad." Doc Brooks wrapped her quick check and pulled Elena aside. "This one's gotta hit the clinic ASAP, but it ain't the nightmare we first clocked. Signs point to a heavy hitter but fixable. Still, she's bone dry and starved without real backup." Soon, Elena nodded heavy, then spotted something that stalled her. Naya had scavenged paper and markers from the clubhouse junk drawer and was sketching. The doodle showed 2 little black girls, a lanky dude, and what looked like a wheeled shack ringed by scrub. But tucked in the corner, near hid, she'd scratched something else, something that had flipped their whole probe. "Naya Han," Elena said, cautious. "What's this bit in the corner?" Nia glanced up with those street-smart peepers in a kid's mug. "Oh, that's where the other young'uns used to kick it. Before they had to split, the grown-ups in the joint felt the air chill." "Other young'uns? What other young'uns, kiddo?" Jax rumbled, his voice a hush. But Zara had roused and was hollerin' soft for her sis, and Nia's focus snapped full to proppin' her twin. The bit on other kids'd have to cool its heels. As Elena stared at the pure sketch, one notion revved in her skull. What the hell was brewin' in that off-the-grid trailer in the scrub? The next morning kicked off a storm of hustle as the hunt for Daddy Buck and the ghost trailer fired up. Jax had rallied a tight crew of reapers for the ride, while Elena bunked at the clubhouse with the girls, mining more of their tale. "Nia," Elena said soft, handing the kid a sippy of orange pop. "Can you spill on them other kids you sketched? Buddies?" Nia's mug lit with a grin too sunny, too perky for the fix they were in. "Oh yeah, Tommy and Sarah and Lil Marcus. They'd swing by now and then on Daddy's clear runs." "Where they at now?" Elena probed light. Naya's look turned pensive. "Daddy said they had to bunk with fresh crews. He said when Pop's heads glitch hard, Kids gotta scout new pads where they stay tight and good. Elena felt ice spider down her spine. The kid's spiel rang scripted, like she'd heard it looped, but a hitch in her tone said she wasn't all in on buying it. Meantime, Jax and his Reaper posse were learning that pinpointing one lone trailer in the endless Nevada scrub-round dust haven was like chasing a spark in a brush fire. The sprawl was lousy with ghosted spreads, busted prospector shacks, and lost-out claims where a soul could vanish clean. Back at the clubhouse, Doc Brooks swung back with Zara's lab work. "Elena, got a jaw with you, Solo," she said, her tone strung tight with edge. They ducked into Jax's back office while Nia doodled with Zara, locked in on SIS duty. "Zara's hit is rough, but not do or die yet," Doc Brooks laid out. "Still, somebody's been dosing her with vet chems. The hits were spot on, hinting whoever slung 'em had clinic chops. But them meds are geared for big ranch stock, pumping 'em into a pint-sized kid this long. Hell, it's a miracle Zara ain't deeper in the ditch. Somebody was clawing tooth and nail to pull her through, but flying blind outside the grid." Elena peeped through the office slats at the two little black girls. Naya was light-stroking Zara's curls, murmuring something that pulled a frail giggle. "One more thing," Doc Brooks pushed on. "Zara's glitch. It's in the blood, creeps slow, but dead fixable with right kit. The drag-on undiagnosing it so long screams these kids ain't seen a real sawbones in ages." Right then, Jax's radio barked. "Elena, we hit pay dirt. Saddle up." An hour out, Elena stood before a beat-up camper trailer hunkered deep in a thicket of Joshua trees, miles from the blacktop scar. The spot was reachable only by a choked dirt snake twisting through the scrub like a smuggler's vein. The trailer's guts were shocking tidy inside, cramped but scrubbed, with jury-rigged bunks for the girls, racks of kid rags, and kid scribbles plastered wall to wall. What nailed Elena hardest was the raw heart in every stitch. Homemade playthings, patched gear, and a scrappy plot where somebody'd tried scratching greens. But in the far corner, Jax unearthed a find that iced everyone's veins. "Check this," he growled, thumbing a wall papered with clip jobs, charts, and scrawled rants. The screamer touted lost kids, botched family pulls, and homefront wrecks from clear across the state. Dead center hung a fat map with red bullseyes on spots and darts tracking routes. Bottom run, in a shaky hand, somebody'd scratched, "Lock 'em down. Eyeball nobody. They're gunning for the blood." Elena scanned the wall. Her family fix know-how clocked the brew of jumpy breaks mixed with real dad grit. But one speck froze her blood. Thumbtacked to the map were kid shots, pro-school snaps looking fresh. Kids that didn't match Nia and Zara's vibe. "Jax," Elena hissed, "where'd he score these pics? And Key," she jabbed a map note, "what's next lift 2 weeks mean?" As they tore the trailer deeper, they cracked a floor hidey hole. Inside, med files, birth slips for a pack of kids, and a log crammed with fever dream riffs on guarding the pure and outrunning the pack. The last drop, stamped 2 days back, made Elena's mitts quake as she read it loud. "The girls are crashing harder. Can't pull 'em up no more. My skull's fritzin'. Maybe time to cut 'em loose for the fix I can't sling. Lord, pardon me for tanking 'em like I tanked the rest." Off yonder, they caught boot stomps thrashing brush. Somebody inbound. Somebody hustling their way through the scrub. The stomps swelled, twigs cracking and thorns snagging as a figure barreled at the trailer full tilt. Jack's auto shifted to block Elena, palm on his radio, primed to buzz the crew. But what busted from the thicket weren't the play they braced for. A tall, wiry dude staggered into the clearing, rags shredded and grimed, mane a rat's nest. His peepers jittered wild over the choppers, the stranger's paw in his den, the breach of his bolt hole. "Where's my girls?" he bellowed, voice snapping on panic. "What did you do with Naya and Zara?" "Gotta be Buck." Elena eased forward slow, palms out like parley flags. "Mister, where they at?" he barked again. But his growl cracked this round, flashin' not heat, but bone terror. Told him to hole up, told him never roll without me. Something blue, something ugly blue for him to ghost. Elena clocked Buck's shakes, how his stare bounced off nothing longer than a blink. This ain't a road dog, this is a wreck, gutsick for his blood. Buck, your girls are solid, Elena said gentle. They're at the clubhouse in town. Naya hauled Zara there 'cause she was sweatin' her sis's shape. The wave of ease crashin' Buck's mug was so deep his pins buckled. He braced a tree, salt tracks in his chops. She's holdin'. Zara's holdin'. Been grindin' to patch her, but the fix ran dry. The chems from the ranch depot, the boosts. Figured I was losing her like I lost. His rumble faded. Jax and Elena swapped reeds. Ranch depot chems. Elena's hunch on the vet dope locked in. Buck, why not ride in with us to eyeball the girls? Elena floated. They've been buzzin' for you. But at the whisper of pullin' stakes, Buck flipped hard. His peepers blew wide on fright, and he backpedaled. No, you ain't gettin' it. Roads out there's poison. They scope crews like ours. Cracked crews. Crews where the headman's noggin can't track no more. He knuckle-tapped his dome over and over. They snatch the blood and it ghosts forever. Elena clocked she was facin' a full paranoid skid, but his pull for his girls rang true as steel. Who snatches blood, Buck? She cooed soft. The machine, he spat, volume crankin'. Rode for him once, you know, and for my skull cracked. Clocked what went down with crews that couldn't flash perfect. Clocked blood vanish into the gears and never ride home. This bomb dropped on Elena like a gasser blowout. Bucked slung for family ops. That cracked the med smarts, the tight logs, even the twitchy dread of the fix-it grid meant to back crews. That's why I bugged us here. Buck rolled on, arm sweeping the scrub clearin'. Off the scopes, off the paper trails and checks and suits who rule if you're roadworthy for your own blood. Jax edged up cautious. Buck, what went south with your old lady? Buck's mug caved. Tasha bought it in a rig wreck 3 years back. Post-burial, I started seeing shadows, catching whispers. The docs pushed toward lockup, but I knew if I bailed, they'd yoink my girls. So I rolled 'em here where we could ride tight, just us 3. What about them other kids? Elena hit, thinking the pics. The ones Naya name-dropped? Buck blanked a beat. Then it cleared. Oh, you mean my ghost riders. Some nights the empty hit's brutal. I spin yarns for the girls about other blood crashin' in, keeps 'em from feelin' solo. He stalled, looking sheepish. The shrinks at my old gig tagged it a tick, spinnin' phantoms that ain't real. Elena felt a hot flush of ease. The other kids weren't ghosts. They were Buck's head noise, tales he'd slung to buffer his girls in their lockdown. Buck, your girls need clinic work you can't sling here, Elena said easy. And you need a tune-up, too. There's riders who can back the whole pack together. Dorsors torsum. But Buck was already thrashing his bean, no. Now, you're one of 'em, right? Here to yoink my girls. Won't let nobody clip 'em. He wheeled to bolt back into the scrub, but his boot snagged a root, and he ate dirt hard. As he clawed up, Elena saw the man was gassed, likely hadn't fueled right in days. Ain't here to yoink your girls, Buck, Elena said, dropping to a knee by him. Here to lock your crew down safe. Buck peeped up at her with peepers equal parts spooked and sparklin'. Swear it? Swear we'll grind every gear to keep y'all rollin' while slingin' the fixes everybody needs. For the first Jax and Elena had crossed him, Buck clocked Elena as flesh, not foe. The girls, he rasped. They holdin' true. The haul back to town ran quiet with Buck shotgun in Elena's pickup, staring out the glass like a rider seeing blacktop fresh after years in the ditch. Every few ticks, he'd rumble the same. You solid they're holdin'? They're solid, Buck. Elena'd steady him each lap, her ticker achin' at the clear pull this busted rider had for his blood. When they hit the clubhouse, The powwow was pure tear-jerker gold and gut-rip. Nia and Zara bolted to their pops, but Elena clocked how Nia auto-slid between Buck and Zara, even mid-clutch. "Daddy," Zara piped weak. "Nia wheeled me for a fix on my gut. The good doc says she can kill the ache." Buck dropped to a knee and scooped both girls, salt pouring down his mug. "Sorry don't cut it, my road blossoms. Daddy's been hammering to fix Zara, but my skull scrambles and I blanked on the play." Doc Brooks eyed the huddle close. Despite Buck's clear head wars, his pull for the kids rang real and soft. These weren't blood scared of their road dog. They were blood propping their road dog. "Buck," Doc Brooks said low, "mind if I break down Zara's glitch?" Buck nodded keen, still clamping his girls. Zara's packing a bug that pools water in her gut. The doc laid it simple. Born glitch, but fixable slick with the right dope and backup. The chems you slung from the depot? They patched some, but she needs clinic-grade hits only a ward can pump. Buck's mug mixed ease and shame. Knew the stock dope wasn't prime, but couldn't clock another lane. Every time I eyed hauling him to a ward, my dome flooded with yoink fears. Elena parked by the tight crew. "Buck, spill more on your family ops gig? When did you bail?" "About 6 months post Tasha's ride-out," Buck said, voice droning distant. "Started glitching episodes where I couldn't bank my own reads. I'd peep case logs on tight crews and wonder if we missed a blowout. Then spot struggling packs and sweat we were splitting them instead of backing." He paused, watching Nia light rub Zara's curls. The breaker was processing a pull on 2 lil black girls same age as mine. On paper, for their road, but 6 months on, clocked they'd been split and parked states apart. Never crossed paths again. Elena got it now. Buck's jumpy weren't full smoke. He'd eyeballed real cracks in the machine he'd ridden for. His head glitch had jacked those true gripes into a fear storm. "That's when you ghosted with Nia and Zara," Elena checked. Buck nodded. "Figured if we just stayed off radar, hunkered, I could lock 'em safe and synced. Had some stash and enough clinic basics from my training to solo their fixes." Jax, who'd been ghosting quiet, chimed. "Buck, what pegged that scrub spot? It was Tasha's prime camp run," Buck said with a busted grin. "Prereq we'd haul the girls for weekend spins. Felt like she was still rolling with us there." Doc Brooks rechecked Zara while the crew jawed, and her take was solid. With prime dope Zara'd bounce full, she dropped. But she'll need ward time at least a week for watch and to level her chems. Nia went alert pronto. "Can I bunk with her?" "I always prop Zara when she tanks." "Kiddo," Elena said soft. "The ward's got pro wranglers schooled on kid fixes, but we can rig daily runs for you." "But what about Daddy?" Nia hit, flashing the same guard dog for her pops as her sis. "Who's propping him if Zara and I ain't?" It hung thick as dust. Buck needed headwork clear, but the girls had been his pit crew for years, splitting them, even short, for fixes'd scar the whole pack. Elena eyed this busted but tight crew and clocked they were staring down the gutsiest call of the whole dust-up. "How do you patch riders when the patch might snap the chains holding them? We're gonna wrench this as a crew," Elena said at last. "All of us locked in." But as she clocked Buck's shakes and Nia's worn-out peepers, Elena wondered if some blowouts ran too deep for even prime intent to seal. Zara reached and snagged her pop's mitt in her tiny one. "Daddy, we gonna ride smooth?" Buck peeped his girl, then Elena, then back Zara. "Hopin' so, Road Bloom." "Prayin' hard." The next morning slung fresh wrenches nobody'd clocked. Buck'd crashed in a back bunkhouse, not locked down, but 'cause he had no crash pad, and Elena was sweating his head state. When she swung in with Joe and Grub, she found him perched on the thin slab, staring at his paws. "Used to back crews," he mumbled low, not lifting. "That was my lane, and now I'm the pops who couldn't even back his own blood. Elena slid in across. Buck, you kept your girls breathing. 3 years in a hell run, that ain't bust, that's ride or die. But Buck's stare drifted. Got a piece I ain't spilled on why the machine spooked me cold. Something that blew right before I bailed the gig. He hauled up and paced the tight box, his edge revving. There was a case. A rider named Dale Cruz. His old lady'd cashed in and he was grinding the blues, blood clean, fueled, pulled tight, but the den grimy and Dale ghosted some school huddles 'cause he was doubling shifts to keep wheels turning. Elena tuned in sharp. Clocking trauma flash signs, the shop ruled the blooded ride better in temp pads while Dale tuned his head. Buck rolled on, voice straining. Supposed to sync in 6 months, but Dale couldn't hack the machine. Mandates, shrink rides, parent drills, den sweeps, kept eating dirt on one rule or another. Buck stalled his pace and locked on Elena. That blood never rolled back. Dale couldn't tank the yoink. 3 months on, he ate lead. Elena cooed soft. Buck nodded, salt welling. Post that, I started seeing Dale in every log. Turn jumpy any call I made might nuke another crew. That's when my dome cracked. Before Elena could hit back, Jack stormed the clubhouse with hot flash. We got heat, Jax barked. Just caught a buzz from family ops upstate. Word leaked on this dust-up, and they're dispatching a squad to yank Naya and Zara pronto. Elena's gut dropped. What? We ain't wrapped our scan. Word is, some snitch buzzed we got 2 starved kids bunked with a head-glitched pop slinging vet dope. They're calling emergency pull. Buck's mug bleached terror. This is the nightmare I clocked. They're yoinking my girls. Buck, easy, Elena said, but she saw him spiraling to red line. You ain't getting it, Buck roared, hyperventing. Once they're in the gears, I'll never wrench 'em back. Tag me busted. Park the girls solo and they ghost forever. Jax shifted, uneasy. Elena, the ops squad hits in 2 hours, and they pack legal pull to snatch custody on site. Elena's brain revved. She knew Buck's jumpy weren't full bunk. The machine did flake crews sometimes, especially with head hits in play, but she also knew Zara needed clinic dope, and Buck needed shrink grease. Gotta be another track, she said. Buck snagged Elena's arm. Peepers feral on need. Please, you swore you'd lock us tight. You swore. Right then, Doc Brooks rolled in with Zara's fresh labs, blind to the storm brewing. Good drop. Zara's bouncing to the dope, she beamed. But gotta hash long-haul fix lanes. Doc, Elena jumped urgent. If Zara had to bail the ward today, could she grind outpatient? Doc Brooks blinked. Yeah, on paper, with tight watch and daily chem checks. But why the rush? 'Cause, Elena cut in, a wrench forming in her skull. We might need a side road to ward, time stat. Buck was now sprawled on the deck, dome in mitts, muttering, They're rolling in. Knew the hammer'd drop. Knew it. Nia, who'd been ghosting quiet with Zara in the corner, popped up sudden. What's eatin', Daddy? Elena dropped to the kid's level. Naya, some suits inbound wantin' to back you and Zara, but your pops frets they might split the crew. Nia's peepers blew wise past her turns. They yoinkin' us from Daddy? 'Fore Elena could sling, Zara piped from her pad. Don't want to roll nowhere sans Daddy and Naya. We're crew. Elena clocked Buck shattered and spooked on the deck. Then these 2 gutty lil black girls who'd flashed more steel and ride or die than most patch holders. She locked a call that'd either salvage this pack or torch her lane. Jax, she said. Buzz Judge Harlan. Tell him we need an emergency crew court in 1 hour. Elena, what's the play? Jax checked. Elena hauled up, jaw like rebar. Thinking sometimes you gotta wrench the machine from inside, and this blood deserves a rider willing to grind for him. Buck peeped up with raw hope. You clock a shot? Buck, I clock your girls already proved pulling steel can bust impossible. Now time for the grown-ups to flash we're worth that bank. Judge Harlan's den felt cavernous to Naya and Zara, who perched quiet by Elena, tiny mitts locked. Buck sat across the lane with a court-rigged mouthpiece, boot-tapping nerves as they waited the kickoff. The family ops squad had rolled from upstate, just like Elena banked, smack in the thick of an emergency court rumble deciding the crew's road. Your Honor, the lead ops wrench, Ms. Ramirez, kicked off. We got ironclad proof of medskip and hazard dens. This blood's been off-grid with a head-busted pops slinging vet hits. Judge Harlan, a grizzled grandma type herself, peered over her specs at the two Lyle black girls. And your call? Pronto yank and split pads till prime long-haul spots open. Elena's ticker sank, but then she clocked gold. Nayad eased up quiet. Excuse me, Your Honor, Nia said in her lil-clear rumble. Can I sling a word? The den went tomb still. Judge Harlan leaned in keen. Sure thing, hun. What's on your mind? Nia strode front center with the same fire she'd wheeled Zara to the clubhouse. Name's Naya. This my sis Zara. We pull hard for our daddy. She paused, racking her reeds in that grown-ass way that had floored every rider she'd crossed. Daddy's dome glitches some, but his pull's never glitchy on us. When Zara tanked, he threw every wrench he clocked to patch her. Hit books, bugged ranch hands, burned nights watching her breath. Elena swiped salt, floored by the kid's spit. The stock dope weren't prime, Naya rolled on. But it was all Daddy could snag sawn suits trying to split us. And I know it weren't top shelf, but Daddy weighed it knife sharp and fed Zara just drops. Judge Harlan cooed gentle. Naya, didn't the scrub spook ya? Some ticks Naya owned. But Daddy locked us solid, schooled us on scrub life and critters, spun yarns nightly, and always fueled us, even skipping his own. She wheeled to peep Buck, who was leaking salt silent. Daddy never clipped us, just spooked other riders might clip us by splitting the crew. Zara piped sudden from her perch. Your Honor, can I sling too? Sure thing, Roadbloom. Zara padded careful to flank her sis. I know I'm glitched, but Daddy didn't glitch me. Doc Brooks said I packed a gut bug from the jump, and it crept as I grew. The lil girl's rumble gained steam. Daddy hammered to ease me, rubbed my back on aches, belted tunes, snagged dope that knocked me to dreamland better. Judge Harlan locked on Doc Brooks. Doc, pro take. Was this blood and red line under Pop's watch? Doc Brooks rose slow. Your Honor, while Mr. Hale's fix plays were rogue, the hits were dead nuts for Zara's size. Somebody with clinic training crunched those, and after 3 years off-grid on scraps, both blood flash deep pull and prop, she paused, then dropped. Pro call. Yoinking these girls from Pops had scarred deeper than the med skips they rode. Ms. Ramirez jumped quick. Your Honor, Mr. Hale's logged head glitches. Can't sling stable road for this blood. Buck's mouthpiece rose. Your Honor, my man's green-lit Vol head tune-up and's flashing quick lift on temp dope. He's also down for reg-den runs and med watch on Zara. Judge Harlan went still long, scanning the crew. Finally, she rumbled. Naya and Zara, park right here by my slab? The girls eased up nervy, and the judge dropped low. Wanna bank y'all know every rider in this den pulls for your best road. Some ticks when road dogs glitch, blood temp bunks with other crews while Pops tunes. You clock if that had to roll? Both girls nodded grave. But the judge pushed. Clock y'all as prime crew. Propped each other through blowouts. She locked on Buck. Mr. Hale, you get accepting backup, don't tag, you busted road dog. Buck nodded, rumble faint. Get it, Your Honor. Just want prime for my girls. Judge Harlan locked her call. This crew stays synced under court watch. Mr. Hale kicks head tune up now. Zara pulls Prime Med, and a family wrench hits weekly for 6 months. The E's in the den hit thick. Elena felt joy salt trackin'. Still, the judge pushed, "Flake any term. Custody reruns pronto." Buck hauled up, rumble firmer than in moons. "Thanks, Your Honor. Won't bust on my girls again." Nia bolted to her pops and clamped tight. "You never busted, Daddy. Just needed backup, and that's road." As they rolled, the den synced. Elena clocked sometimes the gutsiest rides bankin' pulls pull to bust fright. 3 weeks out, Elena swung at the tight flat the court had rigged Buck in town, blocks from the clinic and Doc Brooks's shop. Weekly watch run, and she was itching to clock the crew's new groove. What hit when Buck cracked the door floored her total. The flat gleamed, tricked with the girl's scribbles, and reeked of prime grub sizzle in the galley. Buck looked road fresh, mane trimmed, rags clean and key, peepers clear and locked. "Elena!" Zara yipped from the couch, nose in a pick rag. Her gutted shrunk noticeable, color poppin' fierce. "Check. I'm solo running this whole spin. Nia bounded from table set duty. Whipped lunch for you. Daddy schooled us grilled cheese, and we didn't torch 'em this haul." Elena cracked up, lit by the flip. "This haul?" Buck grinned sheep. "Say we hit a learn curve. Turns galley cook ain't same as Camp Blaze." As they parked for chow, Elena marveled the shift. The girls flashed stock 6-year-old, gigglin', beefin' on who scored the fat slice, yappin' about fresh daycare road dogs. Buck was in it, probin' their spin, proppin' Zara's chem clock. "How's the shrink runs hittin', Buck?" Elena checked. "Beatin' my bank," Buck owned straight. "Doc Reyes cracked my machine spook weren't full bunk, but my dodge on it near torched all that pulled." He paused, watchin' his blood scrap. "Figured hidin' locked 'em, but I was redlin' 'em deeper dodgin' the backup they needed." Zara peeped from her slice. "Daddy, sling Elena the dope drop." Buck's mug lit pride. Zara's nailin' her fresh chems. No more stock hits from the depot. Doc Brooks clocks her bounce unreal. And sling the school bit. Nia jumped hot. "Girls kick first grade next moon," Buck said. "Real den with blood packs and wranglers and full kit. I was too jumpy to let 'em ride 4. Elena felt chest heat bloom. This was her lane. Witnessing crews wrench back to each other, steelier. But Buck's mug sobered. "Elena, gotta drop a piece from shrink time." The girls were nose deep in chow, so Buck dropped low. "Doc Reyes cracked my crack post." Tasha weren't just blues. I'd flashed head ticks years pre, but Tasha'd shouldered my slack. He stared his paws. She locked the girls' clinic runs, tracked their spins, wrangled the noise I blanked. When she cashed, weren't just grievin', full overload on duties I'd ghosted. Elena nodded steady. "Brutal clock, huh?" "Brutal," Buck owned, but cracked why I went full jumpy on the machine. Deep, I knew I couldn't solo their road right. Stead askin' backup, I sold myself backup was the wolf. Zara peeped sudden. "Daddy, you blue again?" Buck reached and smoothed her curls. "Nah, road bloom. Grateful. Grateful you and Nia flashed steel to buzz backup when I blanked." Nia reached cross and patted his mitt. "We're crew, Daddy. Crews back each other." Post-chow, Elena clocked the girls' scrap while Buck scrubbed. She was lit how Nia'd flipped. Still guard dog for sis, but kid mode too. Not 6-year-old mom and another 6. "Elena," Buck said low. "Dryin' racks. Gotta hit you heavy. Shoot." Buck wheeled to face, mug grave but even. "When watch wraps, if I glitch again, if my tick rebounds, swear me something." Elena waited. "Swear you'll wrench prime for Nia and Zara, even if it means yinkin' 'em from me. Swear you won't let my pull blind you to their needs like it blinded me." Elena felt salt well. This was the tick she knew Buck had patched true. Not just his head tick, but the fright near nuked his crew. "Buck, you slingin' that tells me it'll never spin," she said soft. "But swear anyway," he pushed. "Swear," Elena said. "But swear too I'll back you spot the ticks and buzz fix 'fore it hits red." As Elena geared to bail that spin, Zara bolted with a scribble, showed a tight crew of 3 locked mitts front a den with a rainbow arc and happy crew, crayoned bold. "This for you," Zara said, "for lockin' us synced." Elena clamped both girls by, marvelin' how busted steel can forge prettiest when wrenched back with pull and grease. 2 moons into New Road, Elena swung for what she banked routine watch. Stead clocked Buck at the galley slab, Mug creased worry while Naya perched, cross, weird, quiet. "What's the heat?" Elena jumped, sensin' static. Buck thumbed a seat. Nia's wrangler, Ms. Hayes, buzzed today, sweatin' some of Nia's school moves. Elena peeped Naya, paws in lap stare. Same lil black girl who'd spit fire in court, who'd saved Sis with steel. What could glitch? "Naya, kiddo, sling what blew at school." Elena cooed, soft. Nia's rumble faint, got heat for backin'. "What backin'?" Elena nudged. Buck answered, "Sling what Ms. Hayes clocked at snack break." Naya finally peeped up, peeper's confusion and sting. "Got a lil road dog in class, Tommy. Cryin' 'cause he blanked lunch scratch and gut growled hard, so I split my slice and juice." Elena grinned. "Sounds solid pull, Naya." "Why heat?" "'Cause," Nia rolled. "When Ms. Hayes quizzed why I slung my grub, I said Tommy's pops likely blanked the scratch 'cause some pops glitch and skip key hits, but that don't mean they slack pull for blood." Buck raked his mane. "Ms. Hayes frets Naya's shoulder in too much for other blood's heat. Says, Naya rides more like Wrangler's sidekick than kid." Elena started clickin'. "What else spinnin' at school, Naya?" "Well," Naya warmed, "yesterday, Sarah ate it off the bars and gashed her knee ugly. Pack just gawked, but I clocked the play. Propped her sit, eyeballed the gash for deep, told her slow breaths waitin' the Wrangler. Paused, then pried. Also clock fever's touchin' domes, and nail Zara's dose 'fore she buzzes." Elena swapped loaded with Buck. Naya'd burned 3 key years as proper, and them ticks don't ghost 'cause road flipped. "Nia," Elena said cagey, "prime you wanna back other blood, but you ever just wanna scrap, goof, fun sans worry and prop?" Nia blinked, pure puzzled. "But what if blood needs back and I ghost?" The load on this 6-year-old's shoulders gut ripped. Elena clocked while they'd patched Zara's glitch and Buck's head. They blanked the skull scar on Naya from forced grow too fast. "Kiddo," Buck said, rumble thick emotion. "You saved Zara's road with prop steel. Gutsiest, sharpest lil rider ever, but now Daddy's tuned and Zara's tuned, and you don't gotta prop the world." Naya's lip quivered. "But what if you glitch again? What if Zara tanks? What if I blank and blowout hits?" Elena's ticker cracked as she clocked the monster load this lil black girl had hauled. Nia weren't just groan mode. Terrified easin' guard'd nuke the crew again. "Naya," Elena said, droppin' to kid level. "Clock when you wheeled Zara to clubhouse?" Naya nodded. "Steel as hell, but clock the steelest tick?" Naya shook dome. Steelist was bankin' grown riders for backup. Clocked you couldn't solo prop Zara, so buzzed help. Elena snagged Naya's tiny mitts. "Now need you steal again. Bank the grown-ups in your lane. Daddy, Doc Brooks, Wranglers, me. We're locked for grown heat. Your lane's just 6. Salt rolled Naya's cheeks. But blank how to just 6. Propped Zara eternal. Blank how to just scrap. Buck slid to deck by his girl, pullin' gentle clamp. Then we'll wrench together, Road Bloom. Wrench how to normal crew where Pops props blood not flip. Zara, who'd been ghost scribbling table end, piped sudden. Nia, yesterday playground swings, you cracked laughin' near eatin' it. That's kid mode. Nia cracked small grin through salt. Fun tick. See, Zara said flat. You clock 6. Just drill more. Elena hauled, idea revin'. Nia, how about jaw with a kid doc? Not med like Doc Brooks, but head doc for kid feels. Nia weighed serious. Help me wrench 6 again? Might help wrench both. Steel prop girl who saved sis and 6 who merit scrap and grins. Buck clamped both blood tight. Gonna wrench this synced whole crew. As Elena clocked the crew clamp, she got healin' weren't just fix busted. Wrenchin' how to ride strength from survivin' hell while leavin' lane for grins and kid road and pure freewheel joy. 4 months spun, and the Hale crew looked locked prime. Nia groundin' with a kid shrink, Doc Hayes, pro on kid prop flip, shoulderin' grown load 2 green. Zara healthy and revin', scamperin' like stock 6. Buck steady on dope, even I in part-time sling. Elena should have eased. Stead, gut twist worry as she rolled their flat that rainy Thursday arvo. Knockin', took longer than usual for answer. Final, Nia cracked it, and Elena clocked glitch instant. Kid's peeper's red-rimmed cry looked wrung. Where's Pops? Elena said, steppin' in. His den, Nia whispered. Sacked 2 days, won't fuel. Elena gut dropped. And Zara, she's solid. Proppin' her, timin' Chem's dead. The old groan rumble back in Nia's pipe. Elena found Buck in his crash pad, still in sleep rags, starin' blank at joists. Callin' his handle, he wheeled slow her way, peepers foggy, far. Buck, what's blowin'? You hittin' dope? Buck's rumble flat, no fire. Blanked 3 days back, forgot buzz refill. Elena's ticker sank. Knew cold turkey head dope could skid relapse fast, especially stress spins. What sparked this, Buck? What rolled for you ghosted dope? Buck ghosted long. Then, rumble faint. Caught mail. Thumbed his side slab where Elena snagged a stiff state family ops envelope. Inside, buzz Mr. Hale's case up for Pops rights chop on a non-snitch claimin' relapse and blood heat. Elena scanned twice, heat risin'. Buck, this Buck, clear bunk. Your road's been gold. Who'd sling false heat? But Bucket shelled up, starin' joists again. Elena bolted to front where Zara perched quiet with Nia. Both blood spooked, lost. Blood got a probe heavy, Elena said. Parkin' with him. Pops actin' off recent 4-sackin' heavy? Nia nodded. Last week he redlined when that suit rolled door. What suit? Said Gov ride, wantin' quiz on our road. Zara chipped. Pops buzzed us den, but caught him edgin' up. Elena felt puzzle lock. Suit drop paper or cards? Nia bolted galley, back with card. Elena scanned and iced. Ms. Ramirez, same ops wrench who'd pushed Split Moons back. Elena buzzed Doc Reyes, Buck's head pro, who greenlit emergency den call. Waitin', Elena pieced the blowout. Nia, suit spin, what probes she slung? Wanted if Daddy ever blanked Chow, or jawed phantoms, or if we propped him sick. Elena gut sickened. Lead probes rigged to tag Buck slack, slung at blood too green for fallout. Doc Reyes hit in an hour, and eyeballed Buck quick. He's deep blues and jumpy, sparked by dope skip plus major stress, she broke to Elena solo. Prime, caught early. Tight dope wrench, stabilizes days. But Elena fretted past Buck's now fix. Doc, if Ops rolls now and clocks him, could sling as bust proof. Doc Reyes rapped. Even though this skidful dodge and fix, as if buzzed by jaw, sharp rap door, Elena cracked to Ms. Ramirez, flanked by 2 badges. Ms. Torres. Ms. Ramirez smirked cold. Here for blood check on Hale blood. Buzz's Mr. Hale relapsed and can't prop blood no more. Elena filled door, blockin'. Ms. Ramirez, Mr. Hale's mid-med fix for temp dope glitch. Blood safe, propped tight. Ain't your call, Miss Ramirez shot. Stepper badges shift ya. Nia popped by Elena, catchin' Buzz. Nice. Rumble small but rock steady. She said, You're the suit pushed split us for. Ms. Ramirez peeped down. Hey, Nia, here to back ya? Nah, Nia said clear as shot. Here 'cause you hate Judge locked us synced, but Daddy ain't wolf. Just blues 'cause you spooked him. Elena surged pride and ache watchin' this lil black girl prop crew again. Nia, Elena said soft. Den with Zara. Groans wrench this. But as Elena clocked, Ms. Ramirez shoved past into flat. Wondered if this haul, pull, and steeled lock crew. The next hours dragged nightmare crawl. Ms. Ramirez ran her sweep cold, sharp huntin' flaws, not fixes. Snapped Buck's blues slump, logged no shower days, noted Nia prop mode again. This is the skid we banked. Ms. Ramirez told Badges, this blood can't ride busted road. But then gold flipped. Doc Reyes, who'd ghosted Corner Watch, stepped up. "'Scuse, but gotta fix your log," she slung pro. Mr. Hale ain't in head skid. Temp blow from dope gap juiced by straight psych Harris. Ms. Ramirez wheeled sharp. Pardon? As his head pro, clock Mr. Hale's now state full your unrigged roll last week slinging lead probes at his green blood to tank his pops pull. Doc. Doc Reyes yanked her slab and read notes. Post your roll. Mr. Hale hit spike nerves, ghost sleep, blanked refill buzz. Stock tick to scope threats in his diag. Elena clocked Ms. Ramirez's steel crack. Plus, Doc Reyes rolled. You're a non-state buzz-packed fact flops hintin' bad faith sling, like tagged Mr. Hale jawin' phantoms when he was grindin' court mandate head vids. Zara, who'd ghost-listened Hall, patted in clutchin' somethin' tiny. "'Scuse," she said polite. "Sidlin' Ms. Ramirez. Think you dropped this last week. Held a lil record brick." Elena's jaw hit deck. "Zara, where snag?" Tumbled from suit's sack, quizzin' us. Zara said pure, snagged to sling back, but she bolted quick. Ms. Ramirez bleached. That's bunk." Doc Reyes scanned brick. "Dig recorder. Play it?" Before Ms. Ramirez could jam, Doc Reyes hit go. Voices clear. Ms. Ramirez coachin' snitch on a non-buzz for emergency yank. "Hammer dope glitches and buzz blood spooked," her tape rumble. "Need pull for now action for next court spin. Den tomb." Even Badges shifted uneasy. Elena found pipe first. "Ms. Ramirez, you straight trying to nuke crew 'cause you blanked judge call? This blood merits better and Ms. Ramirez kicked. This blood merits truth," cut new rumble door. All wheeled to Buck, still sleep ragged but peepers locked clear. Doc Reyes's dope tweak working quick. "Caught all from Den," Buck said low, paddin' to flank blood. "Ms. Ramirez clock you bank your guard in blood, but so zoned on blowouts you blind to what's lockin'." Knelt, clamped Nia and Zara. 6 moons back, lost in my own spook, couldn't prop blood right. Today, off backup, I'm Steel Pop's pre-glitch. Buck hauled, slingin' Miss Ramirez straight. "Wanna clock what locks this blood? Ain't perfect Pops no glitch." Pops learned buzz backup, packs support, proved he busts heat for blood. Doc Reyes nodded gold. "Mr. Hale, your read and self-bank flash prime growth we bankin' riders. 1 badge cleared pipe. Ma'am, off what rolled here. Looks this crew gets prime prop and watch." Ms. Ramirez scanned Den, clockin' she'd lost the wheel. "Ain't wrapped," she said, snatchin' gear. "Is," Elena locked firm. "Badge clockin' private jaw and Den sans green illegal this state." Badge nodded. "Yeah, ma'am?" As Ms. Ramirez bailed with Badges, Elena felt load lift. But key, clocked fresh in Buck. true pops steal. "Daddy," Naya clamped tight. "You stood crew. That's my lane, Road Bloom," Buck rumbled, pipe strong, certain. "From now, grind that lane daily." Zara peeped Pops admire. "Mean scary suit ghosts?" Buck grinned. "Rumplin' curls. Means even if rolls, we're steel crew to wrench any heat." Elena clocked crew clamp and got sometimes prime growth flips, not dodgin' heat, but facin' synced and clockin' you're tougher'n banked. 6 weeks out, Elena caught a hand-scrib invite lit her grin. Naya and Zara's work, tricked cryon blooms, buzzin' her to crew bash dinner at Hale Flat. Swingin' that Saturday, the tight flat flipped with home rigs, slab set with blood art. But what nailed? Extra plate. "Extra rider?" Elena checked. Buck grinned, looking tuned confident. "Yeah, prime blood I want y'all to meet." Soft wrap door flashed a woman mid-50s, kind peepers. "Blood, Elena, meet Rita Kane," Buck said warm. "She's key to our crew now." Elena clocked handle. "You're the temp pad approved for blood if heat." Rita grinned. "Right, but pro start flipped deep pull." Naya bolted hug. Aunt Rita slings treats and school's braids. "Aunt Rita?" Elena arched. Buck owned light sheep. Rita and her man Dale been vole after-school prop. Turned, well crew? Blood crew? Rita tuned soft. "Dale and me raised 3, clocked missin' young rumble in den." Zara bounced hot. "Sling Elena garden spin. Rita's peepers lit. Got fatback scrub sat empty. Blood and me plannin' spring greens. Buck's wrenchin' what pops best." Elena chest heated. Weren't just crew survivin' blowout. Expandin' pulls lane. Mid-chow, Elena clocked easy flow. Rita and Buck jawed Nia's lift like co-road dogs. Dale, rollin' late, locked Zara on her rags. Blood slid seamless tween groans, clear locked. "Elena," Buck said dessert, nervy. "Rita and Dale slung a pitch, want pro read." Rita leaned. "Weeks brewin'. Dale and me dig Blood's official God Riders, not legal yank, but formal backup, like Shadow Crew, Naya flat sling." "Case Daddy needs extra wrench again," Elena touched. "Buck, your take?" Buck pipe steady. 6 moons back would have clocked threat. Notion other riders in Bloodlane spook cold, but learned acceptin' backup don't bust me. Locke's crew steelier. Plus, Zara chipped. Now bonus road grannies. Post grub, Elena solo with Buck. "Buck, got a probe, you solid this?" Big wrench. Buck clocked Blood laughin' with Rita and Dale. "Elena, clock what you slung? Sometimes gutsiest bank pulls pull?" "Well, learned pull ain't hoard. Grows shared with true crew backers." Grinned. "Rita and Dale ain't replacin'. Help me steal pops? Big flip." As spin wound, Nia sidled Elena. "Serious, Elena, heavy drop." "Shoot, kiddo," Nia whispered. "Clock we're solid now, whole crew." Elena dropped low. "What banks ya?" Nia slung wise past turns. "'Cause learned crews ain't just bloodborne. Crews riders choosin' pull and back even heat spins." Elena clamped lil' black girl tight. Clocked Nia'd slung what pack groans blank. Steelist crews, wrench on choice. Lock in, no strings back, not just jeans. As Elena rolled home, mulled how this dust-up flipped her own bank on belong. 1 year on, Elena prepped final official swing with Hale crew. Court watch rappin' and closin' case mixed sweet bitter. Swingin', scene nailed flip perfect. Buck back scrub greasin' with Rita while Naya and Zara inside ground real drill, no survival load. Zara yipped Elena to peep garden. Back scrub bloomed thick. starred Zara's fix patch. Buck broke. Growin' herbs tied Zara's glitch to bank her health pull. Zara beamed, flashing gut and dream greens. Weren't spooked glitch kid, but steel 7-year-old ownin' wellness. Naya flashed her spot. Red nook under vine rig. Broke it kid lane. Key wrench balance and prop tick with free scrap and dream lane. Inside, Elena ran final scan. Buck's slings flashed full flip. Part-time sling at community head shop. Usin' road to back other pops hack machine sans hidin' truth from blood. Health-wise, steady 8 moons. Pipe like rider learned ride with glitch, not under. Bankin' backpack docs, road dogs, blood. We cracked solo versus self road. Buck mulled. Naya cut to sling Elena mail. Heart sling thanks for not ghostin' in school in Naya she didn't got a prop world. Still dig backin', she scrawled. But now dig just 7. Zara chipped draw of scrub. Breaking crews need packbackers to bloom, like greens need dirt and blaze. As Elena geared final bail, Buck walked to rig. Dropped he no spook machine or heat no more. Peepin' home, warm glow and rumble spillin' shared last clock. Final banked ain't fighting to lock crew. Celebrating crew we wrenched. 3 years post-final swing, Elena crossed hail crew unbanked at Dust Haven grade den. Scene lit wonder. Buck entrance, tuned, steel, loose, flip from past. Flank, Rita, mitt-locked to shy temp blood Tyler. Nia and Zara, now 10, busted school with pure freewheel fire. Buck warm-greeted Elena, and dropped he'd scribed a rag carrion crew to back other pops wrench head heat, sans truth hide from blood. When Lil Tyler quizzed if he'd wheelbarrow too, Naya flashed wise past turns, soft broke. Key ain't wheel, when blood needs back, snag steel grounds for their lane so you just kid. Buck slung Elena first rag copy. Watchin' roll out, Elena clocked. Hales hadn't just survived blowout. Flipped ache to purpose, turnin' healers for fresh blood gene. 10 years on, 17, Naya swung Elena's shop. Zara now healthy 15, Vol clinic. Buck steel speaker on head road. Naya handed college pitch essay the real pull of carrion. Goin' social wrench trainin'. Essay mold kid road. Breakin' Elena schooled carrion ain't meat strength, but bankin' riders when they blank self and no ghost on crew. Sim Naya scrawled, wanna carry other crews like Elena carried ours. Salt moved. Elena clocked scared 6 who'd wheeled barrow grown to young rider primed to shove world kinder. As Naya bailed, Elena felt deep peace, knowin' back circle rolls on, heart by heart.